So I'm going to continue to translate the cluster. Already translated the file system and the file system directory. I removed a bunch of stuff. So we'll see if I have to put it again, but basically I think the main things that I removed are related to imports and to some other resources or something like that. Basically the functionality that I think that is rel relevant to the editor or to the stuff that they are doing there, which is just more related to the game. And I think that the main thing that I'm gonna have to change is the file path. I created a new variable. That's basically the main difference that I did, which is very small. But on the file system, I think it's the file. Yeah, the file system, they start the class with the RAS path, and I create a variable to put so that I can start with any path basically. But I'm gonna put maybe right now the way that it is just with the RAS, but I'm gonna probably have to change this. I'm probably gonna have to make an empty path and then just write some condition to check to see if the initial path is empty. Because obviously the way that I want to use it is for any place in the operational system and not related to Godot. And I think some of the functionality they rely on the path. I'm gonna have to. I'm not gonna do everything now, but I'm gonna have to think about this as I copy this classes here to the other project there. I think I'm just gonna copy the. I'm gonna copy just the file system doc, and then I'm gonna see if I can. Actually, I was gonna copy the class and then remove everything at the beginning, because I wanna. That's how I did the other two. I just wanna copy the main methods. I'm gonna leave the separation here. And I'm not gonna do a singleton, I think. I'm just gonna remove this stuff here. Also gonna do just the tree here and not file system tree. So I'm gonna comment this one out. It's probably best to remove and then just see if I need it later. Anything related to the editor, I'm just gonna remove. These ones I'm probably gonna need to implement later, because they're probably the stuff that shows after you do the common stuff that you're gonna do. But I'm gonna delete anyway. I'm just gonna remove this. So remove favorites. I'm probably gonna remove this one. Scripting. Hmm. Thing is, I'm probably not gonna leave the resource because I think it's more related to the way that the editor is gonna work. It's more for the engine stuff. They use the resource saver or something like that. So yeah, mainly just creating files is probably enough. The only thing that changes between the files is the extension of the file. But I have to see. It might be complicated because I'm gonna have to spend time studying to understand. But I think probably if you just create the file based on the extension, like the biggest issue is the metadata. I'm not 100% sure if there's a difference between the extensions when it comes to the metadata. But I'm pretty sure that's probably there isn't. It's just that it works as a text file, and the main difference is on the way that the IDE is going to parse the files, probably. But I'm not 100% sure about this. Either way, I'm probably gonna have to put the functionality somewhere else. Because I can't use the functionality that they have for the extensions as well, the file extensions, because that's related to the types that the engine uses. So it doesn't make sense for me to put that on the stuff I'm trying to do. I think when you click to put a file, it's just gonna generate any file and then you type the. So that's probably how I'm gonna do it. So it's just gonna be like the. If you want a new file, just put text file and then just change the extension. But I'm probably gonna change the code on this one so that's based on the extension, it gets a different icon. So I'm gonna have to get icons for each language and then put on the folder that I have there for the team. can put on the default theme folder as well. So inherit doesn't make sense. Main scene doesn't make sense. Instantiate favorites from favorite. Where is rename and remove? Okay, it's for imports probably doesn't make sense. Info file new does make sense. Yeah, so I'm probably gonna use this one. I'm gonna leave this true because I'm not really sure if there's a difference. Copy path. And this is interesting too, so. It's probably better to put on the other, put it here. VM file system. Yeah. I'm gonna create another variable there to, because I'm not trying to not do it with a singleton, but I might change my mind later. I probably put here. Yeah. So I was talking about this variable here. I'm gonna leave it like this for now. I'm gonna test, I think. I'm gonna see if it works once I get to the point that I can see the file system doc on the scene. Then after, if it does work, or when I get to the point that it works, then I'm probably gonna have to make this, or probably an empty string in the beginning, and then check to see, or maybe I just don't initialize and then just check to see if it exists. So if it doesn't exist in the beginning, I just display a button or something to open a folder, or probably a button. And if it does exist, then I will use that directory instead. And I'm probably gonna get the directory from a config file. So the config file saves the configuration, obviously, as the name says. I have to see how the editor does it. And then I have to think about whether or not it makes more sense to put as part of this file, as part of this class, or as part of the other class. Should put the configuration. It probably makes more sense to put as part of this other class. So now I'm gonna copy the constructor first. Constructor, then the bind methods, then notification. Let's see what stuff I don't have on the other one. I'm pretty sure that this has a destructor as well. Yeah, so I don't need the destructor because I'm not gonna be using singleton. So the only thing that I'm gonna do is change, I believe that they use current path or something. So I'm just gonna use the file system, so initialize the file system in the beginning. Then I create a function there to get the path. Oh, almost forgot to do this. Yeah, so here they put current path as this. Let's see if there's singleton. So I'm gonna do a file system. Initially I was gonna make it as get current dir, but the dir access already has a function like that. So the get root dir, I think. Yeah. This is gonna return get current root dir. And this is gonna return the variable that I'm gonna use, sure. Update with the whatever the current directory or whatever the folder that gets open is. So the roots of the display, the folder is being displayed. This might be I have to change the name there. So I don't know why they use file system here. So it should be file system directory. So one thing that I believe the last time I went over a little bit, but the threads there, the reason why it's confusing is because some of them, like I still think that they don't use the macro. They just put there and we're probably going to do something. Either that, or it could be the case that the node class or some other class that the file system uses the macro, and that's why they have the this macro here in the beginning. But I couldn't find anything that looks like they use. But when it comes to the threads here, this thread here and the other stuff, it's kind of confusing because of the other macro that is used to determine whether or not the threads are active, which is based on the build system. And it's just basically declaring some functions there with some templates. So it gets confusing because of this, but it's basically just using a mutex and then just locking and unlocking the functions where probably is going to risk having databases. So it's using the logs to prevent databases. That's basically how it works. And based on the way that I was stepping over there, it seems that one the thread functions runs every frame probably, which is the scan file system, I think. And it's probably because of it sets this up on the notification. So which makes sense because I think that these functions are the ones that are responsible for keeping track of what happened on the file system to update the states of the other classes. So it's just basically initializing the threads and then passing this as a callback function to the thread. And then there's a thread func source, I think, as well. Yeah, so this is the one that runs all the time. And this one I didn't copy because I copied some parts, but not all, because I didn't want to copy this yet. But I assume this is the progress bar that shows up there whenever you do something. I don't remember. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that that's what happens there. I was gonna look into file system here. Don't understand why they do file system, not file system directory. Yeah, it's gonna be annoying to refactor this. It makes more sense to call file system on the other class, I think. And then call file system directory or file system dir here. Yeah, so I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna change this one to file system dir. I'm gonna have to. It's gonna be kind of annoying because when I copy the other one, I might forget. So I'm gonna do this one. I'm gonna do this one first, then I'll do the other one. I should do the direct or the image or yeah. Makes a lot more sense. Yeah, file system. System there. Should probably change this as well. I want to see if all of them are the same. Yeah, I'll try to. Let me see. So first I need to. I think I'm gonna remove anything. We're just gonna comment out this stuff. File system get structure. System. Hmm. Yeah, this one is kind of annoying. Just gonna leave it here and then I'll think about it later. Because I'm not sure what's. I assume it's probably settings. You can change the colors, obviously, of the folders. But I don't want to deal with this now. Well, the main thing that I care about is like functionality. I want to make the stuff that I'm building as simple as possible and just remove like all the stuff that's not necessary, and then the rest is just not that big of a priority to me. It's more about functionality and how, because like I assume that is probably because I don't have or I didn't spend a bunch of time like remembering the shortcuts on VS Code, but I almost don't use anything else, and I don't see like the points of using either. Like I see the point of using like Vim key bindings, but the annoying thing about the Vim key bindings, it might be because of I didn't spend the time as well on the configurations, but like the control key bindings don't work very well because I had to change your configuration there so that the Control C, Control V works. But outside of the Vim key bindings that help with navigation and also the Control Shift B, which gives you the options here, I don't see. Like there are some other nice ones like Alt and then for changing the tab, but like it's not that big of a deal, I think. And then I think that like the most of the stuff that exists here is probably to deal with multiple different languages, and also the rest is kind of irrelevant to me. So it just feels like because whenever you want to change a setting or something, it just feels very very hard to do it. So like it feels kind of unnecessary to have all these things. But maybe I'm wrong. So who knows? That's what I'm thinking about now. Do I should do this? So this is because Synchronous. I'm gonna leave this here and pipeline it. I'm gonna write down the. Oh, I think I understand now, like what this means. It's probably for like the icons here. Like there was the same way you have here things on the configuration there. Like based on the view you can change. So the display mode is probably controlling this. You can either display like that or some other way. But I don't know. So I'm gonna most of these things I have to test there more. So I'm probably gonna step over. So the first function that I'm gonna do those two functions there. This one and the rescan. Because reload I'm pretty sure that I'm gonna need because probably the button to refresh the thing. So I'm going to copy these functions as well. But I wanna copy things gradually so if I get errors it's easier to debug. So I'm just gonna comment out all this other stuff. And probably the best way to figure things out is to after I build like the minimal version, I can put on the scene and then see how it works there, and then see what things are missing, and then try to figure out on the original one the functionality, and then copy again and then test and do it like that. So I'm gonna copy or comment this one out. Split mods. And this is another thing that I don't understand very well. But this thing is probably to help with drag and drop functionality. Just gonna remove. Then it's just gonna remove this. That's probably not gonna need. Remove this as well. This one, I'm probably gonna need this, but I'm gonna see if I can do it a different way. If I can't, I'm obviously just going to transfer this class here as well. I'm not sure if I'm gonna need this, so I'm just gonna comment on it. Duplicate probably gonna need. My script, I'm not gonna need. Just gonna delete shader and this other stuff also. Delete. Directory create dialog. Now this one I'm probably gonna need, but it's probably from the editor there, so I'm gonna have to see. Probably gonna have to copy the class and then transfer. Probably the main reason why they didn't register. If they had registered these classes, then obviously I would use them directly. But I think probably the main reason why they didn't register them on class DB is because they rely on stuff related to the editor. So that's the only reason why you can't use there on the editor. Why it doesn't show. Because otherwise I don't see a reason. Yeah, it's from the editor here. So this one I'm probably gonna have to copy as well there. Because it doesn't make sense to put the code for this on the FileSystemDock class. But it's more interesting to leave like this before, so that I'm able to see on the scene how it's gonna look. This one I'm probably gonna remove because related to resources. And the rest probably, this one I'm gonna remove as well. So the rest I think is fine. As I forgot to do this. Oh, this also I'm gonna have to probably copy as well. So I'm gonna try to compile like this, and then I'm gonna try to step over. But I'm gonna try to get to the. Oh, I have to change. I'm gonna change the name as well. I'm gonna try to get to the actual editor as fast as possible, so I can step over after interacting with the class. I'll be right back. You just delete it as well. Oh no, it's a search icon. Yeah. I forgot to copy these things here as well. And also forgot to register this. Mhm. This should put some. So let me do the bind methods first. Yeah, the problem is that now I can't change. Maybe if I do this again. So if I do this. So these ones I'm gonna change all of them to get a theme, Arthur theme, or to get theme icon instead of. So just basically remove the editor, and then I have to put file dialog. But I'm gonna do this later. So it's gonna be the name and the type's gonna be file dialog. And this is gonna make it so that it gets from the default theme. So actually, let's do this. It's probably the best way to transfer everything. So I should probably just get to the points where I have these core functions, which is basically the notification, the constructor, and all the functions that they both rely on. I think you should probably get to that point and then see how it looks on the scene, and then think about if I need other functionality or not. So this one, I'm gonna probably let me see if the rescan function there doesn't depend on too much stuff. I'm gonna transfer this one already. Yeah, so it's just the file system. So this scanning mode might be annoying. It's just the file system basically. So I'm gonna transfer this one first. Let me copy here first. Copy both. Oh, this one's gonna be annoying. Not sure if I have this function. Yeah, this is the problem. So instead of getting from here, I get from the FileSys. From here. FileSystem. Yeah. So there's this one. Okay. Well, it's because I don't have the for declaration. That's why it's complaining. They truly forgot sure. But the main functions in the beginning, I think, is just update tree. So update tree is the entry points. It feels kind of backwards to me because the update tree is the one that is going to create the tree in the beginning, and then it calls create tree, which is the function that creates the tree. So like, not sure if the name should be the other way around. Because the update tree feels more like create tree, just creates. But maybe I'm confusing the way that it works there. Yeah, because the create tree does create the tree. Like the reason why they do it in separate functions is because the create tree is gonna be recursive. Yeah, so I think it does make sense actually. The update tree depends on the uncollapsed paths. So you pass the uncollapsed paths as a first variable. And then you calls the create item or create item on the tree class, which creates the roots in the beginning, clears the tree first, then creates the roots, and then it calls the other one with the directory there. Standard replacement. Yeah, I think I can remove this stuff here. Hmm. I'm just gonna remove for now. Maybe I'll need this later, then I'll go back if I need it. All this stuff here, singular control. You should have from the inheritance though. Maybe not because it's a macro. I get drawing there. No, I think it's I was confusing the error there. I'm just gonna compile again because it's easier. Just see. So this one overwrites dialog footer. And this seems that I'm gonna need. So I should probably add this again or add this stuff. Public or private? Private. Move that one. It's probably. Yeah, so it is here. Okay, that one. Oh, it's because I don't have the file system list. Let's see now. Hmm. I'm gonna copy these ones already. It's easier to remember. I'm gonna comment out. Data. Oh, it's because of I don't have the function. So I think this is something I have to override on the, yeah, I'm pretty sure. Also, this is the reason why it's weird there. So this is defined on this class. Hmm. And that's weird. I get drag data. So three. So is this function. So pass here. I think these ones are probably gonna. I'm just gonna copy this now. There. It looks like it is a lot of stuff. I thought it would be simple functions. So I'm gonna leave this for later. This is gonna be quite annoying to do this. I'm probably gonna have to move this function to the FileSystemDock class. So I'm just gonna comment out the. Maybe I should just copy everything, copy all the functions. So because it's kind of annoying to remember at what height of the class was around at. Because I don't care about putting exactly on the same place that it is on the other class, but roughly on the same place so it's easier to find later. Doesn't get too confusing. But the thing is also I'm not really sure. And maybe so I'll copy the ones that give warning there now, and then I think that I might need on the future. But I don't want to copy all of them because probably I'm not gonna need a bunch of them. So I wanna see first what I need and then just build from or copy from what I need. Let's just try this again. So the one question, so it looks like it is gonna work. So one question is whether or not to, so I have two different paths now. One is to step over with the debugger and then continue to incrementally, which I'm probably gonna do anyway. So like the stuff that is comment out, I'm gonna copy the functions first, and then on each function, that's how I did the other ones as well. I'm gonna see the parts of the function that I think I don't need, and I'm just gonna remove them. And the parts that I'm not sure, just comment. And so one of the main things that I have to see is this thing here. So because I don't want to forget about this. But there's one function of this the doc class that is gonna call the other function from the other class that changes the name. I think it's dir. So based on the name, if the name is empty, it's gonna put the RAS path, which is the path that's is name or something to do with maybe it's p your name. Hmm. Or is empty. Yeah, I just saw there. Is so it's basically similar to this thing here. Don't remember which one. Yeah, so it's basically it's here. So this situation here. So this is the other class there that is used on the file system as well. And this class is the one that manages the state for each folder. So guess the name for this one, and if it is empty, that means it's probably the roots. This is how I think it works right now. So I'm not 100% sure, but I think that's the way that it works. So if the name is empty, then it is the roots, and then they do this. But obviously, the way that I want to do it there, it's gonna be different. So I have to think about how. So yeah, probably these functions are gonna be the first ones because I think that they are the most important, like the fundamental ones, which is just the update tree, which runs in the beginning, and the create tree, which is called inside of the update tree. And I think those two ones are the ones that are responsible for creating the beginning layouts. So I'm probably gonna do that first. And then I have to see like the icons. I probably have to figure out the icons as well right away so that I can look there. Which is just it's not hopefully it's not going to be that hard. It's just it's a matter of changing. So I'm gonna do it based on this as well. So whenever you don't use the editor, it's just gonna get from the default theme. It's gonna traverse the tree to get the context, and then it's gonna get the default theme if it doesn't find any context. If it didn't set any theme on any node. This might be, yeah, I don't think it's gonna be a problem, but I'm not really sure. If I set, because right now on the scene there that I have, I'm setting the theme on the root, but I'm just gonna, because for creating a theme, I think it's better to just spend a bunch of time on the editor. Once you have already, and once you have a scene that has all the elements you think you're gonna use, or most of the elements, then it makes more sense to put the theme on the root and then do it from the editor to see how it looks like, obviously, and then like it's gonna take a lot of time because each one that you set there, it's kind of annoying to set because you have to set on different parts there, each one, and then you have to see. So I'm gonna have to like create the stuff. If I can't find already, which I probably won't find, I think I have to set each value manually and make sure that I get most of them. Or actually, I think I can start from the. I'm gonna have to think about it. I'm gonna have to spend time thinking about it. Because it might be better to just start from the codes, because that way I make sure that I have all the values as a starting point. So either I get the editor thing or I get the default thing as a starting point, and then I start from the code. But then I have to see how can I change that thing on the editor. I'm probably gonna have to create a class so I can change in the beginning, because I think for themes it's probably better to create functions. But maybe it is better to like create a class and then just put each part of the theme on its own function. I think it makes more sense to create function, but in the beginning probably it makes sense to create the starting class, and then from the starting class, like I can create a class that I use to test. That's probably what I'm gonna do. So the starting class, I start with theme, either the default theme or the editor theme, and then I separate each component in its own function in the beginning. Then from that point, once I see how those things look, I take the function out of the class, puts in a separate place, and then based on the name, we're gonna be able to know what each component is gonna look like, because then later on we can compose different themes if you do it with functions, obviously. So I think that's probably the best strategy. So start with the theme, so I can set from the editor, like set the initial values, then change from the editor, and then iterate to shape the functions, and then remember how this stuff looks like. Then, but it's gonna take a long time. So from before I do that, the way that I'm doing now is I'm setting the. But I guess like it's just easy to comment out the thing that I have there. So I should probably comment out the thing that I have for now there. So I make sure that I get the icons from the default theme. The ones from the. But I think it doesn't change anything. Like the main thing that is gonna change is the way that you. But maybe it does actually. Hmm. So I'm gonna have to see, because the main icons that are gonna be annoying are the icons for the different programming languages. Because I did there the icon folder for the module, but I don't remember really well how it works with when it comes to like how to get from the code. I think it's based on the function here. Oh, yeah, but it's based on the other function that I created, that I copied from the editor. Yes, it's basically this one. Yeah, so I can use this one actually. Yeah, but then I have to set the thing. That's the problem. So I have to see if it's possible to get the icon without setting the theme on the editor. Because if I have to set the theme, then it's kind of annoying because this is kind of the problem. Like, yeah, but the way that they do it is by getting the icon from. Yeah, but you're still gonna traverse. I guess I can see how they register the theme context there. So I can put it on the context. That's probably the best way to do it. So there is a function on the editor that they use to register the editor theme on the TeamDB context. And I'm probably gonna do this in the beginning. So set the theme on the context, and then just because the main thing that I want is the icons. And then you just use the override functions to override certain values of certain themes, and I can get an example from the editor. And then I use the icons that I'm gonna put here for the languages. But before I put a bunch of icons, I also have to see if there's anything with the size. I need to make sure that I understand the format, because I'm gonna get probably a SVG, which is the same that they have here. I guess I can just look into the height and width to see if it's the same from the place that I'm gonna get. So I'm just gonna search online, obviously, for the icons. This stuff is kind of annoying. So probably for now, it's probably better to leave this like delay as much as possible. So I can use like an icon that the editor already has, or the default theme already has. Or maybe I can search for the icons on the. I can spend some time looking into the default theme icons to see if there's any that I can use. Now it probably doesn't matter that much. I can use just any one for just to test to see how it's gonna work. And then once I have everything set up, then I can think about changing everything. But probably it's better to finish or to change or to implement the updates tree and the create tree, and maybe some other functions before I put there on the scene, because I think that if I put on the scene, it might be more annoying to figure out problems if something breaks. So it's probably better to. But I'm not sure if yeah, because at some point I'm gonna have to look into the. It's a double-edged sword, because if I put it on the signal, then it might be annoying if I get an error, because, or if I see on the scene and it's not what I was thinking about, then. But yeah, I'm gonna implement the update tree and the create tree, and then I'm gonna put it on the scene. I think that's probably the best. Or maybe, yeah, maybe update tree and create tree, and then try to implement as much as possible here, as long as I don't have to implement a bunch of stuff. And if I encounter some problem, then I can just step over. Yeah, that's probably gonna be better. So I'm just gonna I'm gonna pass the update tree to here and the create tree, and then I'm gonna iterate like that until I'm able to uncomment all of this stuff, and then I'm gonna put this node on the scene and see how it looks. So I'll be right back. So probably update 3 first, then create 3. Yeah, after I put the, if I'm able to do this now, then I'm gonna see, think about how to deal with this. But probably I'm gonna use the, I guess I can just use the function there. So call file system and then get current root there, and then use that when the name's empty instead of the root here. So this is gonna be the update 3. I'm gonna copy the declaration first. Update 3. Oh, also I'm gonna remove this select favorites. No, I'm a float path. I'm gonna leave because I'm not really sure. But I have to make sure that I'm gonna look into all the calls for the update 3 to see if there isn't any that uses more than the first two or yeah, first two arguments. See the height of this. These 3 are probably gonna use, so and these other 2 as well. I think up to here I'm gonna use all of them. And this should not. And the rest is dependencies. So I'm gonna copy all of this. So it's right after file folder. Was on top here. So these two are the most important. I'm gonna put them close to the notification. And this one is probably better to do first. File system. File system there. Yeah. So this stuff I'm gonna remove. File imports development, blah blah. Yeah, whatever. Favorites also remove. Yeah, so this probably just remove everything. Remove this. this stuff as well. Does it use it here anywhere else? Favorite, blah blah blah. I'm gonna do this here now, and the other ones I'll do later. It's probably this. So this is the one of the points. So this stuff, move, move. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. So now I'll copy the other one. Put it here. So here again, use the file system. Yeah, it's close. These ones I removed from the other one because I'm probably not gonna use. These I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I do have this one. It's probably better to copy this one as well. No, because otherwise I might forget later if I just comment out this, and then it's gonna be harder to figure out if there is something wrong. I'm gonna see if there's anything to remove, and then I'm gonna copy the other one. Hmm. I think thumbnail is similar to pop-up, probably. So it's something that they show there. So I think I'm probably not gonna need, but like, in case I need these kinds of things, I'm just gonna look into it later. And I'm just gonna remove from here. Because after I get the base point, then it's gonna be more about like I have to build the rest of the components. And then as I build the other components, I'm gonna like it's gonna naturally create the incentive to build more stuff on the thing. That's probably better to just leave this other stuff here because probably not gonna need. It's better to remove more than I think I need to, and then later on have to put again, than to just leave there. Hmm. I guess it's better to use this stuff. It's basically the same thing, but this one creates a string name, the other one creates the static C string directly. Well, this one is probably gonna be annoying. I'm just gonna comment this out. So they are setting the icon based on the. I'm not gonna remove this one because I'm gonna need to do something similar. What I'm probably gonna do is just change the function that they use. So depending on the state of the file, they select different icons to display. So this one I can see obviously using for some stuff. So the question is, what can I guess I can just, yeah, I'm just gonna use this one for now. Actually, makes more sense. And then here it puts first name. App search. Right. Do I need this stuff? So this is obviously, maybe not obviously, but it's probably used to determine how to display the files based on certain either button or search, which makes a lot of sense. But the thing is, I'm not really sure. So I'm probably gonna have to study this more to understand exactly how it works, and then maybe later implement my own stuff there, depending on because these kinds of things, like I said, it's probably better. Like after I have everything else, and then I start actually using the stuff that I'm building, then it's going to become more clear whether or not to, or what kind of stuff I want to build. So I don't think it's probably necessary to do this now. Should probably avoid doing this. Yeah. So I'm just gonna comment out this. This stuff. Maybe I don't in the forward the car. Oh, but I'm including here, so it should be working. Singular train. Oh, but actually I don't remember if I probably didn't copy. Oh, it's 0. Oh. Let me try now. I'm just gonna remove this stuff here. I think after this, if it works, I'm just gonna maybe uncomment this, but to uncomment, I'm gonna need to translate everything. So I'm just gonna, actually I don't need to put on the scene, I just realized that, yeah, because right after you register, you already have access. So I can open the scene from the editor and just try to put there, then obviously I think it's not gonna be, I maybe it does, maybe it will show something because of the update tree, but I think it's gonna be very different. So it looked like it worked. So I'm gonna open the project from here and then I'm gonna put the class manually on the dock there. Just see what happens. And then I'm probably gonna stop streaming and I'm gonna continue to translate this stuff off stream. The hard parts are gonna be figuring out how to do the dragging and the other functionality. I think those are the parts that are gonna be annoying because they are integrated with other parts of the engine or the editor. So it's gonna be kind of annoying. The problem is that I'm putting, yeah, so but it's gonna be interesting to see as well. I guess I can change the name of the icon. It's probably the easiest way to test. So the system. It does show some stuff there, but because I changed this stuff here, I'm not gonna be able. Uh, so like one question would be whether or not it's worth it to put. Yeah, but I think it's probably not worth it because like based on the nature of this class here, it's probably not worth it to make it so that I can see the contents here. Yeah, it's not gonna work because that would be very annoying to make it work. So this is the downside, and I think that's mainly what comes down to when deciding whether or not to create a class or to build stuff from functions. Like the biggest downside of creating the class is that you don't have access to the nodes on the scene unless you do some stuff there. Unless you change the logic so that you set the owners in a different way. But that's also very annoying to figure out. So the problem is, like, if I want to show the children of these components on the editor, I have to add them as external child there, and I'm probably gonna have to change other functions to make sure that I'm not adding the same node twice to the scene. Because you have to save the scene to the like this only works as well if you don't maybe I'm not really sure if you set outside of the constructor, but inside of the class as well, if it's gonna break. I think it probably breaks as well. Because every time it runs the class, it's gonna add the node twice. So the downside of putting stuff on the class is that you're not able to edit from the editor anymore. But I think for this it's probably fine. Not really sure now. Maybe it's gonna be annoying actually. Because I'm not gonna be able to. Yeah, but I guess what I can do is like separate. Like the main reason for showing the icons would be to change the classes inside of the dock. But what I can do is just add the classes separately and then just change each one separately every time that I want to change, and then it's gonna automatically change the other node. But maybe it is worth it to. This is an issue that I still I'm not really sure how to go about this. I guess like and I felt like this since the beginning or a long time ago that this would be the problem, but I wasn't very clear on my mind why. But now like it's becoming more and more clear, understands like the core of the issue. Because if you decouple the nodes in order to be able to see them from the editor and you connect them through functions, then it becomes very hard to design the structure of the class so that you connect the functionality from the nodes. Because you're reliant on either signals or the names of the nodes. Which is the one that I was. This is the issues. That's like let's say for example on this node I want to in some situations I want to put the scroll container. If I decouple the scroll container from this node, then it becomes more annoying to figure out how to design the class so that depending what kind of nodes, uh, what kind of node is going to be put on the dock, it inserts the scroll container or not. And obviously you can do, I can use a variable like a flag or something, but it feels kind of weird. That's the issue. Like, doesn't seem very good. It's gonna make it more likely that you have errors and you it's like harder to think about, I think. So I'm not really sure now. Like, should I go back to doing this thing from the way that I was doing before? Because essentially, like in the visual sense, it's gonna be the same thing. Because if I do it from the way I was doing before, the only difference is that I'm gonna create the scroll container on the scene, which is the function that I have there that is creating the scene, or the way that I'm doing now is gonna be part of the class. The way that I'm doing now, I think it makes it easier to reuse this in whatever scene I want. Because you don't have to remember, like every time that you're gonna add a node, you just add the node and you already have the functionality inside. So it becomes a lot easier. But now this is the downside here, is that I can't put anything. But I guess, so I think I'm gonna leave it like this. It probably doesn't matter that much. Let me remove this. So obviously it's not showing anything there. So I have to see why. So it's probably because of the scanning. Yeah, I think in order to show, so there's both, this icon here is when you can't find an icon. So this, I guess I'm gonna test what happens. So maybe I can do it from here. So just remove the theme. and then see. I'm not sure if it's gonna. I still can't find anything. So there's one icon that it doesn't find. On the default thing. And it's not showing the files. And I think it's not showing the files because the way that it populates there is going to be based on the file system directory. And it's going to probably happen some other part that I still don't have there. Which is a function that's going to... Yeah, I still don't understand very well, like at one moment exactly, because I know that it runs. Like it runs the same function a bunch of times, and then on one of the times that it runs, it's going to have the class initialize, and it's going to loop over the folders on each directory, I think. But I don't remember at what parts it is. Because I do think that's I already have the function. So maybe it's creates... I think it is this part here. But I'm not 100% sure. Like this is the part that is supposed to create the files there. Obviously, I should have like something similar to this thing here. But also, I don't know. It should be actually the same because I have the other classes as well, like outside. This is another thing that is kind of hard because I don't know how the outside of the class is gonna impact the layout. But I think it's just because I don't have a bunch of stuff that I should have there. I should be able to show. Might be the reload this button. So this is this thing here. Oh, this is this. So why there is shoe here? So I think that this is supposed to be the folder here. Oh, so it might be because of the difference in scroll there. Because there is a... Yeah, I think that this is it goes back to the stuff about the scroll that is kind of weird. I'm not sure how it works. I think it's because of the layout outside is when I change the way that it works there. But the split container that I have might be horizontal. Because I know that they have a split container there. It's not this one, I think. Maybe it is one here that works in a different way because of the layout of the editor. Split container in the... so this split box here. But I'm not really sure where this goes. Split offset. You sure I copy this down here? Yeah, so I think it's because of this thing here. So I'm gonna... This last thing that I'm gonna do. Just to see if it's gonna show the folder. So if it doesn't find, it just defaults to the default icon that the default theme has. But the other thing that is weird is obviously this true filters that doesn't have here. It might be because of the favorites. And let me see, what is this? Huh. No, but now it just went there. Yeah, so the split thing might be this thing here. So I'm gonna search for this. Change split mode. Change split mode. So this is the function that is running there. Okay, so this mode. So the display mode is gonna determine what happens here. I still don't understand why there are two different filters here. And did it change when I click here? No. And so obviously I can search for the thing here. Filter files. Put a search box. There's show here. There's show here. I still don't understand where. So this one is probably this one here. So the other one is the one that is different, I think. For search box. Yeah, search this ring. Yeah, whatever. So I'm gonna, last thing I'm gonna do is just see if uh, changing the icon there, if it's gonna fix the thing, which I probably think it will. And after I do this, I'm gonna continue to I'm not sure if I'm gonna spend time now trying to figure out what is this, because it probably is because of the other class that I didn't add is like the layout there. But the layout's kind of weird. It's hard to figure out uh, what is going on with the layout because the editor layout is very confusing. And I already tried to implement the editor layouts on the other scene there. And if you don't have the editor classes, it's not gonna look the same. So it's hard to know because I think that the layout outside of the where you're gonna put the thing might matter. Hopefully it doesn't, obviously, and but it might matter. So if it does matter, then obviously it's gonna look different there. I don't get why. When I step over, it's gonna be easier to figure out which one is which. Maybe it's because of the icon. Yeah, let me see if one of them has an icon. Yeah, so I think that this is the problem. So because I'm not setting the icon, it's showing the name probably. Yeah. So I think once I set the icon here, it's gonna change there to the search thing. I still don't fix here. Hmm. This one has to be the folder, I think. So I'm not really sure why it's not showing. And this thing here is kind of weird as well. Hmm. So maybe it's not finding this. Or it should be, I'm not setting anything. So I probably deleted the stuff that was supposed to set. This. Oh, I think I deleted everything. So I should copy this part there again. This is probably the reason why it's not showing the rest of the stuff there. Oh, but this maybe is on another function. No, update file list. Might be something that I deleted though. Create tree, subdirectory. Or maybe it is this stuff. So maybe it's the case there. I don't know. I'm gonna try again. The last thing that I'm gonna try, then I'm gonna stop streaming. Probably gonna off stream. I'm going to continue to just copy the functions and then remove the stuff that I think I'm not gonna need. And I'm gonna wait until I have like a bunch of the other ones that, or probably all the ones that have like stuff related to the layout. To wait until, because I think it's gonna be annoying anyway to figure out why the split container inside there is different than the one that I have. And if everything else works, then I'm just gonna figure out another way to do it. So probably just gonna remove the split container or just do something different so that the one that I have there works. Because obviously I don't care about being exactly the same. Just using this as a starting point, and it's probably gonna change anyway once I start working on the other stuff. Yeah, nice. So it's just the case thing there. So obviously it might be because of it might be not showing the other stuff because I didn't copy the other functionality that is necessary to scan. I think the functions that probably create the subdirectories are going to be the ones that scan the subdirectories. So it creates the ones that are related to the subdirectory folder or the file system directory. So these ones are probably the ones that have scan on the name of the function are the ones that are related to getting the files, the subfolders and files. Almost 100% sure about this. Because I already spent some time reading the functions. So the main one's probably scan, which uses the other one, or either scan or scan file system. It might be because I removed some code as well. So if it is because I removed them, I'm gonna, after I copy everything that is on the notification, then I'm probably gonna go back and forth with the debugger and also just reading and trying to understand more or clarify how in one moment it creates. But I think it is at the point there that it checks to see if there is subdirectory counts, and then if there is, it loops over and calls the function recursively. So it might be because I removed some stuff already, or I didn't copy everything that it is not working on my thing. But I'm only gonna be, I think it's better to see that later once I have like most of the functional, the base functionality, and then I can go over the editor and put breakpoints on both classes to see the difference between them. But I'm pretty sure this scan here is the one, so this is the one that runs at first, and they call on the notification of the FileSystemDock, I think. It might be related to the editor as well. This might be another thing. Because I know for sure the editor uses the editor file system, and there are some functions on the editor file system. There's one that I had the breakpoint before that I remember as I was studying the other stuff, which I'm probably gonna have to study again now to see how they handle the editor settings. So after I do the basic stuff, or I could get to the point where I have the functionality, then, or maybe a little bit before, I'm going to go back to studying how they do the editor system, the editor settings, how they save. because I'm gonna change the classes, so it's basically gonna work in the same way. So instead of having the RAS as the default thing there, on the constructor of the BM file system, I'm going to change the functionality so that it looks for a config file. So I'm gonna do the same thing that they do with the editor settings. I'm gonna look for the cache. If it doesn't exist, then I just leave as the RAS. And then on the FileSystemDock, I'm gonna do the functionality of the display of whatever's gonna show there based on that as well. So yeah. It was probably here somewhere that I forgot. I know for sure. Yeah, I can look. Yeah, so here. Yeah, here. So I think that this is the first time that you scan there on the editor. Oh no, this is on the process, so it happens each frame. But I think after the first time, you initialize the thread, and then the function is only gonna return unless there's something changes on the file system. I'm pretty sure that that's how it works. But there might be some stuff on the editor node that changes what shows there. So I'll have to think about this. And there is something here. Yeah, there is another function that I think it is the function that saves the sign. But this is obviously related. I'm probably gonna use a similar path that they use. The thing about the path is that I'm not really sure how it works. Yeah, I think I'm gonna see which functionality, because I know they have some functionality that saves on the app data as well. So I'm gonna see how that functionality works. I'm probably gonna save in the same way that that functionality works instead of saving on the project, because I think that's probably better. And it's probably here that they do, so they load and then they check to see if it worked. Yeah. So I'm gonna stop here. I'm gonna continue to do this off stream. Probably next time I'm gonna continue from where I left here. So